What's up everyone, Tommy with Studio Sense here. Thanks for stopping by to watch today's video. The title is a little bit of a misnomer because no new release is a cheapie, or at least wants to be a cheapie. I'm a real boy, I'm a real fragrance, buy me at full retail. That's the desire of all new releases, is to be sold at full retail. Remember when you were a kid, or maybe you're a kid now, and you bought PlayStation games and you waited for them to become platinum or gold? They all launch with the same price, $59.99, but then end up being a bestseller at 20 bucks. And so fragrances are very similar. If you wait anywhere between 3 to 6 months or more, they'll usually come way down in price. So today's video is very similar to a video I did the other day, which was my top 10 best of 2023 new releases men's fragrance. So this is going to be the same thing, except it's going to be my top 10 best new release cheapies. So after this brief intro, I'm going to tell you guys my 2 criteria that these fragrances had to meet to qualify as a cheapie. Got that and more coming up, so stay tuned. Welcome back everyone. Today's video is super juicy, and not because we're talking about juice, well, sort of because of that. It really shouldn't matter how many zeros are in front of the decimal in your bank account. You should be able to own fragrances that you're proud to have, proud to wear, and you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on to qualify as a good cologne, as a good fragrance, good signature scent. And so that's what today's video is all about. I'm going to share with you my top 10 new releases of 2023 that are cheapie fragrances, fantastic to wear, to own, and the best part about it, you don't have to spend a ton of money to have a quality fragrance. So the 2 things that these fragrances had to be: number 1, under $100. Some of these were released not that long ago, a couple months ago, 3-4 months ago. And so they're relatively new still, and they've not been downgraded in cost a tremendous amount, but enough to qualify as a cheapie. Again, under $100. That's the first thing. The second thing, obviously, it has to smell great. Got to smell great, perform well, and look good, and be under $100. So while that's 4 things, I said there was 2 pieces of criteria. I fit 3 in 1 in the second one. All right, let's get into our list here. We're going to start with number 10, work our way down to the number 1 best cheapie fragrance of 2023. Coming in at number 10 is a fragrance that is a great casual fragrance, great casual wear. It is, however, still about 60 bucks to own, and that's going to come down in price as time goes on when it finally drops to the discounted rate. But right now, Hugo Jeans is purchasable at 60 bucks or just under in the canteen style bottle. Hugo Boss has actually maintained a pretty good reputation with a combination of juniper, peppermint, and woods in the background. It makes a great casual wear fragrance. Coming in at number 10, Hugo Jeans. Coming in at number 9 is a fragrance that is the most expensive in this list still yet. It hasn't been greatly reduced. It's really hard to do well when people have already experienced what they feel is the best of the line, and then another flanker comes along and people are like, it's just a quick cash grab release. And I feel like that's the case for Azzaro Wanted Eau de Parfum. Azzaro Wanted Eau de Parfum is a great office-friendly fragrance. It wears well, it performs well, decently for an EDP. I think overall it smells great, but again, it's just the timing of when it was released, and I think it's not gelling with people, at least yet. I think if the price drops dramatically from the $70 price point that it currently sits at, it will be received a lot better, and maybe the rating will go up. But currently, that's sitting at number 9 in best cheapies of 2023, Azzaro Wanted Eau de Parfum. Coming in at number 8, you would think it would be easy to apply the same logic with this flanker, because there are a ton more than there are of the Wanted line. There are a ton of flankers in this line, but it's just overall a better fragrance. There's a higher concentration of oils in this one, and the price has dropped to where it's a great buy at this point. I'm talking, of course, about Chrome Parfum. This pure, clean, crisp combination of bergamot, sage, fir balsam, and something called lentisk is fantastic. And I think as a parfum, it wears extremely well. It meets all of the criteria, and this is actually under $50. I think you can get it right now at FragranceNet.com at just over $48 and change. That's a great deal for the Parfum edition of Chrome, and that's why it comes in at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is a fragrance that technically is a little bit more in terms of cost than Azzaro Wanted EDP, depending upon where you purchase it. But you can get it for 74 bucks to $65. So it's anywhere in between that, and that's why it's number 7 on this list. And it is Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Summer Vibes. Summer Vibes aces the presentation, it aces the aroma and performance because it's very similar to Light Blue Eau Intense, the best selling of the light blue line. Only this has just a bit more of that leafy green and minty fresh going for it. If it just dropped a bit more in price, it would rate much higher in this list. But for now, Light Blue Summer Vibes is sitting strong at number 7. Coming in at number 6 is a fragrance from a designer that's not super prolific, but when they do release something, it's usually of really good quality, and this is a great example of that. It is Coach Green by Coach. Wasn't really expecting this release, and for sure wasn't expecting it to hit the green genre with such vigor. With the great fresh combination of bergamot, kiwi, moss, and cedar, it makes an excellent summertime, or really anytime, kind of fragrance, and it's currently sitting at around $61, $74, or $62 discounted. Still sitting at less than $100, very well worth it. Coach Green by Coach coming in at number 6. Alright everyone, we are down to my top 5 new release cheapies of 2023. I'm really happy to share with you that Mont Blanc Explorer Platinum is coming in as number 5. This one is an excellent runner-up to an already great pillar fragrance, talking about Explorer. Now Explorer went the way of Creed Aventus. This one is going a little bit in a different direction, which is really good. It's a little bit more creative in terms of it's not following the edicts of a previous flanker or a previous release. It is its own thing. It's just a bit more of a cooler, refreshing, lighter leather orientation than the original Explorer. Its focus is more on the violet sage or clary sage and cedar combination. A little bit heavier on the violet, which pulls in that whole leather-esque that I really enjoy about it. Coming in at number 5, definitely worth owning, and you can get a 100ml bottle for under $60. Extremely well worth it. Mont Blanc Explorer Platinum. Coming in at number 4 is one of the most oddly shaped in terms of presentation. You already know what I'm talking about likely, but that's not really a knock against it because it smells so good. It is a reform or reformulation from an older fragrance. It is Rocus Man Intense. Rocus Man Intense is a fantastic combination of lavender, cedar, cappuccino, coffee or cappuccino, and vanilla. It's excellent. It is lightly sweet, a little bit heavy on the musk, meaning it performs really well. It's a great cold weather fragrance, but really just anytime you want to smell like a masculine coffee, this is a great one to grab. Plus you can get a 100ml bottle for less than $40, and that's why it's sitting at number 4, Rocus Man Intense. Alright, we are down to my top 3 cheapies, new releases of 2023, and this one I just talked about the other day, so it's deja vu for me. It is a Calvin Klein fragrance. It's Eternity Reflections for Him. This really was a surprise to me how much I liked this when I first tried it. The whole idea or concept behind the fragrance is being on the beach with someone that you want to spend time with and just enjoying all the great things about summertime. You know, blue sky, green grass, I guess you're on a beach, so blue sky, warm sand, the sun sparkling off the ocean in the distance, whether you've been swimming in the ocean or there's a restaurant off the pier there that you've been enjoying dinner. It brings to mind all those great things about summer, and it's super fresh, super clean, especially with that combination of woods, chocolate, mint. You don't really get the chocolate in this, but you do in the sense that it's a great byproduct of the freshness of the fragrance. It's a great grab and go, especially if you like the note of absinthe and what it can do to make something freshly green. It does a great job in Eternity Reflections. About $35 will net you a full 100ml bottle, and that's why it's coming in at number 3. Alright, the next new release cheapie that I want to talk to you about coming in at number 2 is one that I haven't talked to you about on my channel. I was able to recently grab it up and I really enjoy it. It's an amazingly complex little fragrance for being so inexpensive. It is by Cristiano Ronaldo. It's CR7 Fearless. Fearless is a harmonious combination of notes. There's red apple, bay leaf, cashmere, tonka, vanilla. There's a ton of notes. Overall, a bit more on the mature side. Also kind of a fresh, masculine, youthful energy to it as well. So that makes this an extremely versatile fragrance for any time wear, right? It would be great at the office. It's not super heavy or musky to choke anyone out. It's not too different or niche to where somebody's not going to smell it on you and not enjoy it. It's just a surprising little kind of sort of stealth sport release for this year. CR7 Fearless by Cristiano Ronaldo coming in at number 2. All right, we are down to my #1 cheapie of 2023, and you may be surprised by this one. Considering it against all the fragrances I've talked about today, weighing it in the balance, it just comes out ahead. It is actually from Alfred Dunhill, who's known to release a ton of really good cheapies, and it is Dunhill Desire Bronze from the Desire line. Not only does it have that Desire DNA that's built into it, it's just overall kind of a surprising stealth release for this year. It's really hard to find any website that's talking about this in detail, the launch date, or talking about the notes that are in it. Nobody knew or heard about or saw this fragrance until this year, last year. We are in 2024. Not only is it inexpensive, it smells great. It's very much like a spiritual successor to 1 Million. It's definitely got kind of a UAE light oudi flair to it. You've got a combination of apple, lemon, neroli, teak wood, one of the heavier fragrances in the Desire line, so it's perfect for cooler weather or really just any time that you would wear one of the 1 Million flankers. You can wear this. Now, I'm not saying that it smells like 1 Million, but it's kind of the same in terms of form. So that's why it's coming in as my #1 cheapie. Because it is so inexpensive, you can get a 100 ml bottle for less than 30 bucks, 25 bucks, and it's very well worth it. You can pretty much find it at any discounter. And just to reiterate, all of these fragrances that we talked about in this top 10 list came out in 2023 at some point, some period in 2023. And so they're all new releases, and they're all, to a point, really good deal in terms of being below 100 bucks. Most fragrances, when they're first released, are $100 or more in terms of retail cost, and then depending upon how popular they are or become, they'll either drop slowly or quickly. So how did my list compare to yours? Have you tried any of these out? Let me know what your list is like, or which ones of these that you really enjoy in the comments below. Thanks so much for stopping by to check out today's top 10 list. I really appreciate you coming along for the ride. Definitely going to be doing more in the future, very similar to this. Got another one coming up that I'll tell you about soon too. Just to share with you quickly, I got a couple winners of decants of Ralph's Club Elixir, two in fact to announce. Ricky.305, my email address, which is studiosense@gmail.com, which is scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now. Send me your deets, your address information to that email address, and I will ship you out your sample of Ralph's Club Elixir. Ricky.305, and our second winner, Danny Castro, 8762. DANICASTRO 8762. You also got a 3 ml decant of Ralph's Club Elixir. Send me your information where you would like this sent to studiosense@gmail.com. I'll get you guys out those decants really quickly so that you'll get it in a couple of days. Again, everyone, thanks so much for watching today's video. As always, thank you so much for your continued support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video review.